Once again, welcome everybody to Mandara. Mandara is a platform where we bring exceptional and outstanding talent from all walks of life to talk to us and inspire us. And this time, thanks to Deepa, and more than that, thanks to Tanvi Jagdish, who we call very affectionately the cuddle girl or someone who's the daughter of the ocean. We are delighted to have you here with us and honor us with your presence here today as a distinguished guest at Mandara. This word may not be familiar to most of us, at least to some of us it was not familiar till I read about her and then saw some videos and things like that. Tanvi is one of the top names, if not the top name in India's stand-up paddling scenario. She is all of 21, very young. In fact, we thought she was much younger. When we initially wrote, we said she's 19. And I think that's how she looks. Tanvi is the first professional among females who has become a paddle boarder in India. She was just 9 when she took upon this as a water sport. All kids like to play in water, and I think it was with that intent she must have gone. But at that young age itself, it made a deep impression on her. And somewhere at the age of 12, she was a guest at a facility called Mantra, where a gentleman named April made her get familiar with stand-up paddling. And since then, there's been absolutely no looking back. Tanvi has been the first athlete to represent India internationally in SUF racing events. Unfortunately, she missed the recent latest edition of the Stand-Up Paddling World Cup, which was held in China due to lack of funding. And I hope that people who are listening, people who have contacts, people who have the wherewithal can start talking about her story. So hopefully some cooperation will come up and start funding, and instead of just pouring money into cricket that in some sense has become a national obsession, we will get people like Tanvi also to represent us in the World Cup and bring home a World Cup, which is equally important. She currently runs her own surf and stand-up paddling school, so she's an entrepreneur at a very young age. At the Cuddle Center for SUP Surf in her hometown, which is a beautiful place, which is Malpe, Udupi. Tanvi wants to basically dedicate her life and time to bring this into the limelight, bring the sport into the limelight, and also try to attract girls who otherwise, could go into very conventional sports like a volleyball or a badminton or something to try and take up something that's challenging and carve out a niche for themselves. In her short career as an international, though she's very young, and in the national sports scene, she has won 6 national championships and also participated in the International World Cup and won multiple bronze medals. So over to you, Tanvi Jagdish, to inspire all of us and talk to us about your life and passion, which is stand-up paddling. Over to you. With a round of applause, let us welcome Tanvi. Please put your hands together.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Hello, everyone. So this is me, Tanvi Jagdish here. I'm a professional surfer and a stand-up paddler. So whenever I introduce myself that I'm a surfer and a stand-up paddler, the very first question is, what's that? And I will say it's a sport, surfing and stand-up paddling. And the very next retort is, you are a girl. So let me tell you a little bit about surfing and stand-up paddling. But before that, I have to, take this opportunity and thank Surfing Swami. You can put up a picture of Surfing Swami and me, Deepa Oramaya. So basically, he is the person who got surfing to India, and he's been such a huge role model in my life. And so he set up a surf school for the first surf school in India, basically. And his main name was also Jack Hebner. So he's a godfather of surfing for me. And I think for where I am today, I would thank him so much. He is no more here with us, but I have no words to say how blessed I am to meet this person. And thank you so much. So surfing and stand-up paddling are sister sports. And in surfing, basically you lay down on a surfboard and you paddle with your hands. But in stand-up paddling, you have a bigger surfboard and you stand on the board and you paddle, basically. So this is the sport. Stand-up paddling, the big advantage is that you don't need ocean only. You can do stand-up paddling, the river, pond, lake, ocean, all the way to catching waves. So I have this favorite quote which I have formed for myself, which I'm going to share it with you all. People see this beautiful world from the land on on ground, but we stand-up paddlers see this beautiful world from the water on no ground, where the ocean is a definition for playground. So I was 9 years old when my grandfather took me to the surf ashram. So surf ashram was luckily, located in Mulki where my grandparents stayed. So it was like a 5 minute walk. And as a kid, every Sunday, my mom and dad had to take me to the beach and I had to play. If they would miss even a day of not taking me to the beach, I would create such a ruckus in the house. So every Sunday is like, and my parents kind of felt weird. Why does she like water so much that her mood can be upset so much that like she doesn't get into the water. So my grandfather observed this, and my grandfather has traveled outside India as well. So when he came to know about the surf ashram, the Indian culture and the surf culture beautifully blended and followed over there, he took me there along with my cousin, who already had gone surfing and has been making me jealous usually. So I caught my first wave of my life at the age of 2009. And I can say it was such a mixed emotion because I didn't know to swim and I was surfing. So the first wave I've caught in my life has such a memory for me. I had a big life jacket and had a big surfboard, and my brother cheering like, Tanvi, come on, you can do it. Like, I think I have to thank my brother because I was such a naughty brat as a kid, and he was accompanying me throughout. So the main mix and main challenging of this going to surf is I used to go to surfing during all my holidays. Either it's a weekend or a government holiday or like it's summer vacation, winter vacation. I studied in a DP, so we used to get a lot of holidays like that. And my parents had no idea. Like she was my mom and dad. They were like they knew that I am getting tanned and this is not at all my color. My hair color is becoming a little golden also, and I have such a pitch black hair like because my mom put so much coconut oil. So like year passes by and 2010 I was 10 years old. I'm getting really good in surfing. I'm helping out in the surf school because we were also volunteering as kids and helping out because they were teaching us how to surf. Then I was I became 11, and at the age of 12, that I was 2012, my mom was very suspicious. Why is this girl becoming so tanned? Why like her hair is so blonde? So she comes down to Mulki, that's where my grandparents' place is, and she saw me in the water swimming. She gets the shock of her life and she gets me out of the water. And for 1 year, I didn't surf, and I was like, that 1 year was such a pain of my life because I couldn't go to the beach, I couldn't surf, and I could only think that I miss the ocean a lot. So I had to, make my mom and dad sit with my and tell that my best friend Rajul, who's a very good swimmer, and my cousin Nihal would protect me, and I would go swimming along, surfing along with them, and they would agree only on that terms. So I have to thank these guys. They have come like training with me very early in the morning every single day. And when I went stand up paddling after one whole year, I can say it was such an amazing thing, and that's when I met April Zilk. She's from US and she came to India with her husband, because he had to work, but she came to the surf school because she wanted to train. That's the first time I saw a woman doing stand-up paddling. I have never seen it before, like in front of my eyes, and she was such a huge inspiration. Like she was so dedicated. There were like we were taking her videos and she would come back from training and she would see how she would paddle and all of that. So as she saw me as well, so I was also so interested because every day, every like in the morning and in the evening, I used to come back from school and like watch her doing stand up paddling. But the main twist of doing the sport and also convincing my mom that there was a contract basically between my mom and me that I have to score well in my school. That's when I'm allowed to like do surfing and stand up paddling. So my schedule was wake up in the morning, study, then train and go to school, come back, train, study and go to sleep. So literally my friends used to tease me. Like nobody wanted to become friends with me because like I was literally training all my life. I didn't attend any of the kitty parties or like movie outs and like a lot of things like that used to happen in school which was so fun. But it's nothing like I missed out, but like Like nobody wanted to be my friend, and I'm feeling so bad. I just had two friends in school who are very good friends with me right now as well. But that was one phase as a kid. I was so dedicated because as a kid I was so naughty. So like my energy was like distributed all over the place. And the big magic surfing has done to me is, as a kid, I had heavy wheezing and I couldn't breathe properly. So I couldn't do a lot of physical activities. So I started surfing at 9 and I'm 21 now. I do not have wheezing at all, and all thanks to surfing and Mother Ocean. The saltwater kind of cured me. So 2015, I was 15 years old and I attended my first ever nationals. And that's the first time I met other Indian females who did stand-up paddling, other Indian men who did stand-up paddling. And the common love between all of us was Mother Ocean and surfing and stand-up paddling. So that was my first competition, and my cousin and my friends have prepped me well. And here I've trained only with boys and my brother here. So when the race started, I was so excited. And when the whistle blew, I paddled my heart out. And it's a tough race in the ocean, 5 kilometers, because when you're doing nationals, it's a little less distant. You turn around the buoy and come back. When I'm winning, I see that I won with a big lead, and this is my first ever event, and I'm so small, just 15 years old. I was so happy, like I had no words to thank the people who have trained me, my brother. So from then, I decided that I am never gonna look back, no matter what is going to happen. I was 16 years old. I had, got like three more medals consecutively, like in stand-up paddling. And I get a very unusual one on a very usual day from Surfing Federation of India. And they say Tanvi from India is going to be competing for Stand-Up Paddling World Cup, which is organized by International Surfing Association. For the first ever time, India is going to go to the World Cup. I had no words to say how happy I was. I was literally shivering because I never knew that this day would come so fast. And I have trained for so many years as a kid, but with literally lack of support, have not even having proper equipment. Like I used to use the equipment which April had left in India and gone. And that is the only good equipment I had. So the biggest challenge which I faced was I didn't have enough money to go to Fiji. So the first World Cup was in Fiji. And it's such an expensive country to go to. But I trained for it so hard, and my friends and the people who supported the circle saw that. So 1 week before the World Cup, everybody does the crowdfunding, and I get to go to Fiji. And I can only say how grateful I am to have such people in my life. So when I reached Fiji, everybody was so happy to see an Indian woman come. Like for the first time, India is coming, and they never expected me to come. And my teammate, like who represented the men, like Shekhar Pache, and our team leader Ram had come. So the event was so beautiful. But the amazing thing about the World Cup in stand-up paddling and surfing is that you carry sand from your motherland, and everybody gets sand from their motherland, and you put it in one glass box. And the beautiful layers of the glass box just show the unity this sport represents. And then comes you carry the flag and you walk in the ceremony. I had literally tears in my eyes because getting India on that map of the stand-up paddling World Cup has been my dream. And as a kid, I didn't think that I could almost come till there. So like that was a huge thing to walk with the Indian flag, and they hold the flag together and take a picture. And then comes the most interesting part, the race day. So let me tell you how the stand-up paddling race works. It's completely different. There are no four walls and there are no boundaries here. So you have to compete for 18 kilometers in the ocean, and there will be floating objects like buoys guiding you. So there'll be a venue analysis telling you about the safety, how's the wind speed, tide, how are the waves, how big the waves are. So basically, I had to start from a place called as Cloudbreak. You can Google it up. It's a beautiful place where the waves are so good. Cloudbreak, Fiji, to a Namo Island. So it is almost 18 kilometers. So before the race began, I'm gonna be competing with the top athletes of the world, whom I have been looking up because I didn't have a professional coach. I had only few people guiding me how to do this. So after some time, I have been like watching their videos about how to paddle, how to pace, how to have a good race start, what to eat, like how to do like good kind of strokes, how to do a back turn, and all of that. So competing with them was such a, I think it was an amazing thing, but I was so nervous because they're one of the best athletes, and I'm just 16 years old, and like I don't have like so much experience as well. So nervous. But my grandfather's voice was playing in my head. Tanvi, you have come here to make a history. You've already made a history. And there are so many girls from India who are going to look up to you and going to be inspired. You're going to be the first one. Do not worry. Just go for it. And the whistle blew. I mean, they also shoot a gun, and the race began. And 18 kilometers of paddling. I paddled my heart out, not thinking what is going to happen next. And the only biggest, the challenge of racing in Fiji that it was very hot. But I was from India where the temperature is so hot always, especially here in South India coastal area. It is so hot, throughout the year other than the monsoon. So that was my advantage. And I could see few people fainting because of the heat stroke, and I got really scared because they're one of the best athletes in the world. So I did not give up. I kept going. I kept going. I kept believing in myself that, one step at a time, one paddle at a time, I'm going to go forward. 18 kilometers, 3 hours, I'm just going to go for it. And when I come to the finish line, everybody's shouting, India, India, India. I'm like, what is happening? And I'm crying because I'm so emotional. And I was able to finish the race. And they put the Indian flag around me, and they say that a girl from India has successfully finished a very tough race of the world and came top 16 in the world ranking at the age of 16. And I couldn't thank, like all the people in India who have worked so hard for me to be here. Like from, going to my college, from my school, like all the principal, the teachers who have like, done so much sacrifice to teach me. My cousin used to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning every single day to take me training because my mom wouldn't let him sleep. My mom and dad and all the people who like crowd funded for me to go to Fiji. So it was such a beautiful thing for me to like get that award. And after that, I kept winning nationals, and I'm 21 years now, and I have won 6 nationals, and I've been to 2 World Cup, and I've given a TED talk. I run a surf school with my best friend. But in 2018, I went through the biggest downfall of my life. I missed through a wave, and I went through my first biggest injury of my life. So as a kid, I was a very tough girl, and no matter what, like I was never getting injured. Like I've been training so hard, and like injury was like didn't happen in my life for so many years. So getting crashed on such a big wave, it hurt my stomach. So I went through a lot. After 5 days, I even won a nationals. But after 3 months, there was a World Cup, and even after working 8 hours of training, and spending that little time to take classes, save money, I missed my World Cup, and this broke my heart. But I was like, I just couldn't accept this fact that I got selected to represent India. Like, I didn't have enough money to go to a World Cup. How crazy is that? And I still remember like after my training in the evening, going from places to places, begging for people's money, saying that, oh, I know you guys have CSR funding. Can you please help me out? Showing my presentation, my media articles, each and everything. But everybody would end up saying no because the sport is not famous in the country and a girl is doing this sport. How sad that was. And I was like, I'm not gonna give up. So I just kept on going. And I saved some money, and then I went to the Asian series in Singapore, which happened for the second time. I performed very bad for the first time, and the second time I did go with whatever money I had, and I won bronze for India. And this was such a huge moment because I didn't have anybody accompanying me. I traveled to Singapore all alone, competed, and got that medal for country. And I really wish if my mom or dad would, if you had enough money to like get at least one of my family member to like see me go on the podium and get that medal for India. So it was such a huge thing. But after that, my body just collapsed. So I went through a lot of rest. I was completely under bed rest. I couldn't imagine, how I can even tell you that, how horrible it was not to be in the ocean, no training, no competing, and, no surfing, no stand up paddling. That's when I met my best friend Rohan, and he encouraged me to take this step and start teaching people, because I loved doing that. No matter how busy I am training, I would at least teach for 2-3 hours for my students who would come to the surf school. So I started my own surf school in Udupi at Malpe Beach. That's when I did my course of internationally, it's an international certificate to teach surfing, stand-up paddling with international life saving. So it's a very tough certificate to finish. And I was the first woman to, finish this certificate and, go to the, finish the certificate and be the first woman in India to get this certificate. And that's a picture of me in my first World Cup, by the way. So to get the certificate was very hard. So that's the exact time I opened my surf school. And we didn't have enough money to have more equipment to teach. So we just had 2 stand-up paddling boards and 1 surfboard, which a friend of mine gifted me with some money taking from a family and friends. We started a surf school, and with just 2 boards, you cannot imagine, we taught so many people and they loved the class. So we created such a big buzz in our hometown that these 2 people who love water sports are teaching this for the kids, and it gives so much ocean awareness. And then we also taught in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra. So it's our dream to go teach in all the states of India, but that's happening one at a time. So by then, we met so many students. That's when we started Cuddle. We had like a location, we collaborated with new places, and we taught. Right now, it's 2021, so we started the surf school like in 2009. I have taught thousands of people, and just because I'm a female head coach at the surf school, we get thousands of women who love to come and learn surfing. And it's the first time happening in India where there's a female head coach in the surf school. So that's a thing, and I you know what I want to say. And the one more biggest downfall which happened with this was my dad became really very serious, and he's such a supportive person of the family, and he's the one who kind of pampered mom and saying that let her go, let her take that step. So I went through a lot of down with a lot of achievements and getting a media coverage, competing for India. So these downs were also with me, and that one particular year I was completely shattered. But I just want to say that you have to follow your dreams. I am rehabbed right now after 3 years of, being patient, training every single day. I'm completely rehab. I'm going to be getting ready for my training. I cannot reveal the names, but I am getting ready for my trainings. I'm so excited. And a lot of people say, your dream is so, you have all the opportunity, you have all the will, you have all the right to follow your dream. So I would say, if no matter how you are, because starting a Cuddle was such a different thing for me, because I never give up, even if it's a small step. Even if you're doing so much progress every single day, you're still going forward every single day. And I truly believe, no matter how tough your dream is, if you have a true intention and if you work really very hard every single day, the nature will always do wonders in life for you guys. And always believe in miracles. And no matter how bad your days and no how much down you go, have that attitude to take it. Do not give up. There has been days where my dad was serious in the hospital. I've written my 10th exam. I have gone and competed, and I've still come sit in the hospital with my dad. And my dad was very proud of it. So do not ever give up. And I'm just gonna add this one line. As growing up in the society and being a woman and a girl, I went through a lot of challenges because of my clothes, because of the activity I was choosing. People said that, that's my friend Rohan, with whom I started the surf school. So people said, surfing and stand-up paddling is not meant for women. You're too small to do this sport. You're too too small to follow your dream. You're too small to travel abroad. Leave your parents and go follow your dream. Don't do that. People said that, people said that I cannot run a business. People said that, I cannot run a business with a person, with a male member. People said a female person cannot run a business. So these are things I heard. And the biggest challenge was my clothing. So they expected me to wear salwar and surf. And I was like, I'm going to drown if I do that. I'm going to wear comfortable clothing, which is suitable for me when I'm being out there. So as a society, I'm sure you guys also might, go through a lot. So I would end this, talk with a beautiful quote from Meghan Markle, which I had attended and conference at. Girls with dreams become women with vision. It isn't simply enough if we just talk about it, and isn't simply enough, if we just have a dream about it. You should start working right now, and let's all do it together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the whole team for giving me this opportunity to talk, and thank you so much for Divya and Amaya for being so understanding with me, because I'm a little bad person when it comes to communication, because I've been very busy with my training, and they were still being so understanding, and always communicating with me. So thank you so much, everyone.
That was really wonderful. Being in 10, 11 years, experiencing all that you have done, going through the hardships and the challenges, I'm sure is sufficient motivation for all of us here who sometimes tend to complain when everything is going well, with much lesser magnitude of problems. Having said that, what I would like to do is open up the floor for questions and interactions. I'm pleased to see a lot of women in the participant group today. And if some of you want to sort of shed your inhibitions and learn stand-up paddling or find out more about the sport, hear from someone who's done our country proud.
Going on. I have one question from Amita. How long does it take to learn? And are there the levels that one needs to go through?
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Tanvi.
Yeah. So basically, surfing had basically 3 levels. That's how we have designed it as a school. So we have something called as an experience. We have something called as a foundation course, and we have something called as an advanced course. So an experience course is a 3 days. So if you just want to experience how stand-up paddling or surfing looks like, it's a 2-hour course every single day, and it's super tiring. So it's a lot of fun. So 3 days you practice for 2 hours, and you kind of get an experience. But if you want to get the foundation, because foundation is so important for any sport, it's a 5 days course where it teach you everything about the board, how to understand the waves, how to paddle, how to stand on the board without the help of the instructor. There's a lot of things that goes in detail. So if anybody wants to learn surfing and stand-up paddling, please do reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you out. So, and if you want to take surfing as a full-time thing, and you live in a place called as Bangalore, you have to what you have to do is very simple. You have to take a foundation course and then come on weekends. So we get a lot of people from Bangalore and I love surfing. So the foundation course you practice everything, so that my tip here is the more time you spend in the water surfing or stand-up paddling, the more better you get. So I used to spend 8 hours every single day. So that's why I'm always I always learn something every single day. That's how the sport is. That's how the nature is. Yeah.
So Amita, did that answer your question? I think
Sorry, voice is very...
Yes, but the voice was not coming very clear, so it's a lot of disturbance. I couldn't get much of it.
Is there a website where they can get some details, Tanvi, because your voice was getting a little choppy, maybe like the ocean surfing, but
I'm not able to hear anything. Sorry, the voice is breaking. I don't know how my voice is.
Yeah, I think we're experiencing some bandwidth issues. Maybe you can try turning off your video and seeing if it conserves bandwidth and you're able to address this question one more time, maybe just for the interest of the general public. How long does it take from the foundation course to the advanced course and the experience that you were talking about? Maybe you can just repeat that once. Try turning off your video so that maybe the bandwidth, if it's an issue, doesn't become a constraint.
Not able to hear anything.
Our apologies, we seem to have some connectivity issues, so just bear with us if we are able to get the connectivity going. We will resume the Q&A session, temporarily pause it. Ameya or Deepa, could you just on the phone try and talk to Tanvi and see if the connectivity issue can be resolved?
Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Tanvi. I have spoken to her, sir, already.
Okay, that's very nice. So Tanvi, do you mind repeating the question that was asked by Amita? How long does it take to learn and what are the levels that one needs to go through? My apologies, I think we still have some glitches in terms of connectivity. Deepa, Ameya, if we can't resolve it.
Yeah, give us a minute.
Yeah, sure.
I've just called her and I've asked her to just check with her Wi-Fi issues.
Okay.
I have asked her to leave the meeting and join back. She'll join back, I guess. Yeah.
As we're waiting for Tanvi to sort of join us again, would anyone who's been listening to her for a while now say that you have some interest in this sport or it sparked an interest in you? Or for that matter, I may be wrong in assuming maybe one of you practice it. Anyone who has tried surfing or stand-up paddling? I can see Amita say that she's interested. Obviously, she's asked the question too. From what I understood, the basic course takes about 3 to 5 days. That's when it was sort of garbled. We are now trying to see whether Tanvi will join us. If she can, we'll have another 4-5 minutes worth of questions and then we can wrap it up. My apologies for the technical difficulty. We have Tanvi, we can just admit her into the system, which we have done right now. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, apologies for the poor connectivity which has caused this disruption. Tanvi, you're back with us?
Hello.
Yeah, Tanvi, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, nothing. I'm so sorry for the network issues. I'm so sorry. So I think I was with the last question. So if you don't mind, you can tell me again.
Yeah, the last question was basically not understood by us because of the bandwidth issue. The question is, how long does it take to learn and what are the different levels involved in learning stand-up paddling?
Okay, so I will keep it very simple so that everybody can understand. So I'll tell you about the levels first and then I'll tell you how many days it takes to learn. So, okay, so we have 3 levels of surfing courses in our surf school. So we have an experienced course, we have an advanced foundation course, and no, we have a basic advanced, basic foundation course, and then we have an advanced course. So an experience course is for 3 days where you kind of come to know how surfing feels like, and like you learn like very basic about the sport. And then comes the basic foundation course where you come to know about how do you paddle on a surfboard, how do you stand on a surfboard, and everything in detail of a foundation which is required for surfing will be taught you, like how to do a simple turn, how to catch a wave on your own, how to identify which wave is good for you or not. And then we have an advanced course which is a 15 to 20 days. And every day you practice for 2 hours because it's a very exhausting sport, so a rest is very must. So if you ask me how many days you want to learn a sport, if you just want to learn the basic of it or a foundation of it, 5 days is very much enough to learn surfing. But if you want to do full on, you can take a bigger course. And my suggestion is, if you want to be a good surfer, the more time you spend in the water, the more better you are going to be. So it's all about spending time in the water.
Tanvi, that was me who asked the question. Amita, your session was so fantastic. I loved it. I just want to learn it out of interest, and I'm not looking at becoming a professional surfer or anything like that, but just to learn a new activity. But my question is, do the 5 days need to be done back to back, or can they be over several weekends? How does it work?
So if you have a time constraint, what we do is you can take a 3 days course back to back, and then you can come on weekends. So we have a lot of students coming from Bangalore to learn surfing to Udupi. So they come on weekends because of time constraint. So they come Saturday, Sunday, stay with us, and go back in the Sunday night. So that's something I would suggest.
So does it happen because the surfing requires a very high wave? So does it happen that you plan a weekend, you get there, and then there are no waves, and then it's the course doesn't?
We have throughout the year from September to May, and we always tell you in advance if the weather is bad. You can always check the forecast, how the waves are. And if like we have some of the students who plan their holidays in such a way, if the waves are very good for one whole week, they would plan a holiday like that. So they would put break on those days and surf all day. So you can always
you can share your website. That will be useful. Thank you.
Yeah, done. I will do that.
Thank you, Tanvi, and thank you, Amita. Any other questions from participants for Tanvi? Either about the sport or some of the challenges that she had to overcome, or a piece of advice that you want. Anybody else? Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but Tanvi, I was really captivated by the way, you were so passionate about the sport that you follow, and also, the manner in which you've been able to, come past any constraint and, not look at anything as a roadblock towards your success. You have your heart and your eyes pinned to the goal, and you're just moving forward. And the way you mentioned that making little progress every single day and doing it consistently kind of gets you to the goal. I think it was so infectious the way you said it. It applies to every one of us, whether we are sports lovers or not. I think with the dreams that we chase, I think this your message couldn't have been articulated any better. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to meet with you and to take back the passion that you brought to the table today. Thank you so much for being here and giving your time to all of us.
Excellent.
Thank you so
much. It almost is like a vote of thanks, and as a head of learning for the organization, you summed it up very beautifully. Thank you so much. And Tanvi, thank you for inspiring us so that we can really take away how to progress and how to make progress steadily despite all the odds, as beautifully put by Till. Any other questions, observation, comments from others?
There's one more.
There's one question, yeah.
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 What can the government do more to encourage professional water sports?
So what I can tell from my point of view is that we, as athlete representing India, I did go approach the government to seek for help. But as a sport not being recognized in the country and not being so aware about the sport in India, they didn't help me. But now the situation has changed, and it would be really nice if government can help us, at least help us go and participate in the World Cups, because India getting a chance itself is such a huge opportunity. So I think that would be a great way if they can help us and promote the sport in the country, because learning to surf, learning to stand up paddling, learning to swim, I kind of feel like it's like a beautiful life skill to learn, because if these sports are so beneficial for us as human beings, and you become so aware of the nature, and the whole day goes so well after you surf or you swim. That's all.
Yeah, so let's hope that the government of India has a wake-up call and encourages all kinds of water sports. Being a country with such a large peninsula and so much of beautiful water bodies, we generate a lot of income to tourism. Maybe they should also start making us a sports tourism destination, not just looking at the beaches and
mountains.
Yeah.
No, like tourism right now is more focused on the temples here and the mountains, the trekking, the beaches. But there is, so the sports we do is like like an ecotourism. We do not have any more. It's very eco-friendly to the nature as well. So if and India has so much opportunity, like 7,500 kilometers of coastline, beautiful waves, beautiful beaches, beautiful backwaters, and if it can be utilized in a beautiful way without even harming the nature, and everybody has fun and explore the city in a whole new way, I think it'll be beautiful for India. That has been my goal, to get India in the tourism for surfing and stand-up paddling as well.
Wonderful. I think we're about coming to 4:45. Tanvi, thank you so much for coming and inspiring us with this sport that caught you at a very young age, the kind of rich tributes that you paid to the people who inspired you to take up the sport and supported you in the early days, and also those who coached and mentored you. Of course, all credit is also due to your cousins, family who supported you through this entire destination, and for your tenacity, overcoming all the challenges and curveballs that were thrown at you, either in the form of injury or in the form of lack of support. That has not taken away your spirit one little bit. And as my colleague said, this positivism has kind of infected all of us, which is much better than this crazy viral infection that's going around. This positivity is what all of us need to take back into our own lives, whether it is sport or any other activity that we perform. So on behalf of the entire Saskin family and all our colleagues and those who have attended, I'm sure we're going to be talking about what you said and borrowing ideas from your life experience to continue to inspire us. We are also confident that in the future that is to come, you will put India on the map as far as your sport is concerned.
Yeah.
Okay, Ami can continue.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanvi, for sharing your unique experience and journey as experienced stand-up pedaling expert. It provided us a unique perspective of how to see life. And on behalf of everyone here at Saskin, I also wish you all the very best for your upcoming pedaling World Cup. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And do provide your feedback as well for the event.
Yes,
The
please.
link's been provided in the chat. Stay safe.